Yo, what's up, fanbase? It's your boy Blaze Hollow coming at you again with another What If. This time we bring you What If Deku ate the Hormone Fruit Part 5. Let me know down in the comments section if you're surprised about this double upload for this month, because to be honest, I myself am very surprised. So let's get into it and start that intro.
Maybe in a million miles on a highway through the skies. Someday soon we'll be together.
No, I honestly don't think you can become a hero.
A door slid open, catching everyone's attention, especially the males, as they saw a female goddess, a green-haired beauty, having it halfway down her back as her skin seemed to be fair as silk, with a perfect hourglass shape and with breasts that most women would only dream to have. The boys in the room then noticed the other goddess that had pink hair and pink skin. Her curves seemed to match her friend's perfectly. It's almost like they were a carbon copy of each other, except the pink-skinned one had shorter hair. The only thing that could be heard going through the classroom besides silent was a quick little bump coming from underneath all the males' desks, as Izuku noticed by the window was the person she hated the most, Bakugo. Hello there, everyone. I hope I didn't make a scene by coming in, but all of you seem to be staring at me. All the girls seemed very envious and curious of what kind of moisturizer, hair product, or whatever it is that those two girls were using, as they had so many questions. Momo was the first brave soul to step up to one of them as she held out her hand for a handshake. Hello there, my name is Momo Yaoyorozu. What's your name? Izuku smiled as she shook Momo's hand. Izuku Kayama, it's a pleasure to meet you. This is my friend Mina. Mina smiled as she gave a peace sign. Mina Ashido, nice to meet you. Shinso walked into the room, trying to stay undetected, not wanting to get the spotlight on him. I just hope that they stay focused on them. Hiroshima was stunned by the two gorgeous women in front of him for a minute, as he then noticed a guy with purple hair and a scarf wrapped around his neck trying to find a seat, so he got up and went to go talk to him. Hey there, sorry you didn't get as much of a welcoming, but you can't deny that those two girls definitely know how to steal the spotlight. And so took a deep breath as he looked over at the redhead in front of him. It is truly fine. I'd rather not have a crowd of people staring at me anyway. He then looked over towards Izuku, making sure that Mina was keeping her hands to herself. Besides, I came in today with the both of them. They are my best friends. All the males automatically spun their heads toward Shinso, wondering how a guy like him gets to hang out with two beauties like that. But everything started to get even more crazy when a lot of them noticed a small midget with purple balls for hair walk up towards the both of the ladies, wondering what he's about to do. Wait a minute, I know both of you goddesses. I've seen your OnlyFans page. Izuku was a little bit uncomfortable seeing that the male in front of her was kind of drooling at her feet. Yeah, I was hoping I didn't have to explain that today, so what's your name? The small perverted midget was on his knees, bowing in front of Izuku. My name is Mineta, and you are so far more beautiful than your photos. Can I please take a photo with you? Yuna puffed out her cheeks, a little bit annoyed by Mineta's antics, especially with him trying to get close to her, Izuku. You know, she's not the only one on that page. Don't you want to give me some attention? Mineta got hard eyes as he was just overwhelmed seeing the two goddess bombshells right in front of him. For the pink goddess of pleasure, I've seen your antics, and you truly know how to use your hands and put them to good use, and your flirting demeanor when you speak to your goddess sisters is truly known to make any man aroused. Izuku was getting weirded out as she hid behind Momo. Please stop talking, you're embarrassing the both of us. Mineta could see Izuku holding onto Momo from behind. But there is nothing embarrassing about you. You are truly the green-haired goddess of lust. I have seen what you have been able to do when you're truly excited with your body motions around your goddess sisters. And when you start using your fingers and tongue, it can truly make any man, woman beg for more. It's truly magnificent. Izuku shivered, knowing that she had weird fans like this because of the webpage, but it was the only way that she could make money instead of relying on the small allowance that her adoptive father gave her. How about this? If I blow you a kiss, will you at least leave me and Mina alone? Mineta started to shake his head violently. Yes, I'll do anything to get your acknowledgement, my goddess. Izuku's whole body shivered in disgust as she put two fingers up to her lips and proceeded to blow a kiss. There, now leave us alone. As the kiss blew through the air, some kind of spiritual way of being felt on Mineta's cheek as he instantly turned to stone with heart-like eyes. He seems to be turned into a statue as all the girls were shocked and a little bit worried, but that's when a girl with green hair and frog-like appendages walked up to Izuku. That's a very interesting quirk that you have, being able to turn people to stone. Izuku was confused, concerned, and in disbelief at the same time, setting off an alarm of mixed emotions for her state. No, I don't have that kind of power. I can only control hormones, but nothing like that can allow me to turn people to stone. This has to be something different. Yuna thought about it for a second as she put a finger onto her lip. Well, I once heard that if someone was so perverted and they saw somebody that they really wanted to do nasty things once got acknowledgement by that person, that sometimes they would turn to stone or maybe bleed out from their nose or just pass out. Maybe this is just one of those situations. Izuku shrugged, not really wanting to deal with the little pervert. Either way, it keeps him away from us for a little bit, so why don't we all get to know each other a little bit while we're waiting for our sensei to show up? We should just give each other our names and something that we like or something that we do. The girl with the frog-like appendages decided to speak up first. My name is Tsuyu Asui, but most of my friends just call me Sue, and I like to take care of my little siblings. The girl with orange hair and a nice muscle tone on both her arms and legs stepped up next. My name's Kendo, and I enjoy training in martial arts. Izuku was very interested in hearing what Kendo just said. That's pretty cool, Kendo. Mina and myself have actually been trained in a special form of martial arts ourselves. Kendo was looking the both of them up and down, seeing that their figure was toned, but it didn't look like that of a martial artist. That's good. You'll have to show me what kind of techniques that the both of you have been trained in. A girl with dark purple hair with earphone jacks who seems to be looking every one of the girls up and down a little bit with her cheeks red. Hello there, my name is Jiro and my hobby is music. I can play almost any instrument. Mina got sparkles in her eyes hearing that Jiro can play any instrument. I would really love to hear you play sometimes, Jiro. Do you also write your own music? Jiro swallowed a little bit thickly as she stared at Mina. Yeah, I do, but I really don't like to talk about it that much. While all the girls were talking, Izuku started to sense something coming up behind her as she turned around and saw a floating female school uniform. Izuku tilted her head, wondering what was going on as she poked right where the breasts were. He then heard a girl yeep from the contact as the girl revealed herself to be Horu-Horu, who was surprised to be poked right in the tit. Sorry about that, I didn't mean to startle you. My name is Horu-Horu and I enjoy joking with people by using my invisibility quirk. Izuku scratched the back of her head, feeling a little bit awkward. I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to poke you in the tits. I just thought it was some kind of prank. I'm not used to seeing invisible people. Horu-Horu slipped on a pair of gloves as she just made a peace sign. It's all good, I'm used to it, and I can tell that you had no malicious intent behind it. While the both of them were talking, Izuku jumped up as she could feel somebody groping her ass, only for her to turn her head and see that it was just a hand. When she went to go pull it off, it started to move and then float into the air towards a girl with light tan skin with a big smirk on her face. As the hand reattached to her wrist, she started to open and close it like she was pretending to still be groping Izuku's ass. Sorry, I just couldn't help myself. I wanted to know if your ass was real, and goddamn it is. Izuku had a look of enjoyment on her face for a few seconds as she was biting onto her lower lip, excited of the ideas of what she could do with this girl. But then she quickly shook her head, trying to not channel her dirty mind at the moment. It's okay, just, maybe ask for permission before you cop a field. I should be charging you for it. A lot of people say that my ass is worth money. The girl then reached into her breast as she then pulled out a $5 bill. My name is Togahage and I enjoy messing with people, and for $5 will you let me grope your breast to see if they are real as well? Izuku thinks a little bit as she gets a seductive smile on her face as she playfully grabs the $5 bill. Only because we're both girls that I allow you to get away with something like this, so quickly grab a squeeze before I change my mind, darling. Hokage gets a big smile on her face as she takes both her hands and squeezes Izuku's breast. Oh my god, they're so soft but yet so firm that it's like the perfect combination. Izuku lets out a little bit of a moan, which causes all the guys around her to blush as she looks around. Easy now, Tokage, I'm delicate. Ina was getting jealous as she walked over and pulled Izuku away from Tokage, holding her close in her arms. I think that's enough. Besides, we still have one more girl who needs to introduce herself. Looking around each other for a few minutes, realizing that Ochako was no longer there. When they looked towards one of the windows, they noticed that she was standing in front of the desk of Shinso. While his head was down on the desk, seeming to be trying trying to catch some more sleep, she was just standing there with a massive blush all over her cheek. Hey, I just wanted to say thank you for what you did for me back in the entrance exam. Shinso picked his head off the desk as a little bit of drool was drawing off of his lip as he was going to wipe it away. I'm sorry, what did you say? I was sleeping when I heard your voice. Ochako's heart skipped a beat seeing his face as she used all of her courage to continue this conversation so she wouldn't run away. I just really wanted to say thank you. You were very heroic. Shinso was scratching the back of his head thinking that it wasn't that big of a deal. It's fine, I didn't want to see you get hurt. I just was doing what any hero should have done. Ochako's face turned even more red as steam started to come out of her ears. Well, either way, I'm going to let you get more sleep. I'm going to go back to my desk now. All the girls were watching that as they saw Ochako go back to her desk and keep her head down as steam was still coming out of her ears as Mina was screaming in her mind with joy. She started to skip over, seeing this as an opportunity for Shinso to fall in love with somebody else. But while that was happening, an ashy-haired blonde walked up behind Izuku and tapped her on the shoulder as she turned around to see Bakugo, who seemed to have a smirk on his face. Hey there, cutie. I just wanted to introduce myself. My name is Bakugo, the future #1 hero. Izuku smiled as she giggled a little bit, but on the inside she felt like she wanted to strangle Bakugo until the life force drained from his eyes. Nice to meet you. Is there a reason why you wanted to get my attention? Bakugo had an arrogant look on his face as he grabbed onto her hand and gently kissed it. Well, I saw that you were basically doing introductions with all the girls, so I thought I would take the initiative for the men here, but it seems like I'm the only real man here. Izuku gently pulled her hand back as she was fighting back to urge to finger pistol Bakugo right in the arrogant mouth. That's nice. I'm glad to see that someone is willing to take the initiative to give out their name and info without me having to ask them. Before the situation could get completely out of hand, he raised her head, decided to finally come out from underneath his desk, not wanting the first day to be consumed by an entire fight in his classroom. Well, if you're all here just to make friends and chit-chat all day, why don't you just leave? Everybody went silent. Most of the classroom was completely surprised except for our ragtag trio, who already knew that he was there the entire time as everybody started to rush to their seat and sat there quietly. It took you about 2 minutes to get quiet and take your seats. That won't do. He then pulled out a tracksuit from his sleeping bag. Put these on and meet me outside. Everybody grabs onto their tracksuit and quickly makes their way to the locker room as we take a quick peek inside of the boys' locker room to see what they are talking about. There we see Bakugo walking up to Shinso as he leans up against one of the lockers beside him. Oh, extra, how does someone like you get to hang out with girls like that? Do you pay them off or something? Shinso turned to look at him with an expression of anger and annoyance. That is not the case, and do me the favor and go fuck off. I don't want to deal with you. Bakugo got annoyed as he grabbed onto Shinso by his shirt. Listen here, there's no way a loser like you can get to hang out with two hotties like that, especially that green-haired one. Shinso was getting ready to do the finger pistol right into Bakugo's chest, but then he remembered that Izuku wanted first dibs at him as he just took a deep breath. Get your hands off of me. I don't feel like fighting on the first day. Bakugo smirked as he raised one of his hands, sparking explosions. Well, if you don't start answering my questions, I'm going to have to beat it out of you, so tell me, who is the green-haired beauty? Shinso just glared at him. I'm not telling you anything. Bakugo was starting to get really angry. Wrong answer, extra. While Bakugo was mid-swing, someone grabbed his wrist from behind as the both of them turned to see Kirishima holding onto Bakugo's wrist as he was pulling him away from Shinso. This isn't manly. What you're trying to do on the first day just isn't right. We're supposed to be friendly with our classmates. Ida ran over as he started to do his signature karate chops endlessly. Her behavior is unacceptable. I'll have to make sure that I bring these things up to Sensei when we're done here. Bakugo just pulled his wrist out of Kirishima's grip. Whatever you say, extras. I'll deal with him some other time. He then pushes them both aside as he starts heading towards the exit of the locker room. I will always be better than all of you. Just remember that, extras. Ida just shrugged his shoulders as he shook his head, wondering how someone like Bakugo got into their class or even into UA to begin with. I'm sorry that you had to deal with that, but do know that not all of us are like that. Kirishima then gave a thumbs up toward Shinso. Yeah man, like I said, what he just tried to do to you was not manly. Shinso sighs, knowing that he could have handled the situation himself, but he did not want to upset Izuku. It's fine, one of my closest friends had dealt with him before, so I knew that he was going to be a pain in the ass. The guys finished getting dressed as we cut our way over to the girls' locker room. We can see in the corner of the locker room Jira was scoping out all the other girls. Seeing how they all looked a lot more feminine and had better breast size than her, Izuku noticed noticed her doing this as she started to walk her way over. Are you okay? You seem to be looking at everybody like you're ashamed of something. Hiro was blushing like crazy as she saw how well the tracksuit hugged Izuku's body, especially since she left some of the zipper open so people could see her cleavage. It's nothing really, I just sometimes feel a little bit underdeveloped compared to most girls my age. Izuku tilted her head as she walked around Jiro and noticed that her ass was her biggest asset about her, almost like a very ripe peach that she wanted to take a bite out of. Well, you may not have a big breast size, but you definitely have a gorgeous ass. Jiro's face turned completely red, not expecting such a gorgeous woman to give her such a compliment for her average size. Thank you. Not many people compliment me. Most of the time people think that I'm a boy. Izuku puffed out her cheeks, almost annoyed hearing that someone would call Jiro a boy. Well, I don't know what they're looking at cause I see a pure lovely lady that's still growing right in front of me. Jiro felt a little bit more confident in herself hearing such kind words from Izuku. Well, I would definitely like to get some beauty tips from you if you don't mind. Izuku was excited about doing some makeup tips with a new friend. Of course, but we should hurry up and get changed. My dad doesn't like it when we keep him waiting. Jiro quickly zipped up her gym uniform. Don't worry, I just finished getting set up. Only for the second part of her statement to finally reach her ears. Wait, Sensei's your dad? All the girls in the locker room automatically looked at Izuku in surprise, except for Mineta and Ochako, who seemed to be deep in conversation as we cut over to the conversation to see what's going on. Mina was giggling as she had the biggest smile on her face. Oh, I saw that you were trying to get close to Shinso. What's that all about? Ochako could feel herself blushing as she tried to hide her face within the locker. Oh, nothing really. I was just trying to say thank you for what he did for me in the entrance exam. Mina gently and playfully tried to pull Ochako away from her locker so she could see her face. It's okay, you can be honest with me, and maybe if there's more to it, I can help you. Ochako was in deep thought, wondering if Mina was really going to help her or just try to sabotage her. Seeing that the three of them were very close, but she really wanted that information. Well, I'm just very grateful knowing that not a lot of people would have risked their lives for somebody like me. And he was just so cool when he was saving me, holding me bridal style like that, so close to his chest. Her mochi-like cheeks started to turn a little bit pink as she started to sway back and forth. I'm just hoping that I can get to know him a lot more. Mina was so happy about what she was hearing in her mind that she was jumping for joy knowing that there was a girl head over heels in love with Shinso that might be able to get him away from Izuku for her. Well, what do you want to know? I'll tell you, because between you and me, he needs a girlfriend. But he can sometimes just be too shy around women. It's one of the things that we really like about him. He's just way too honest. Shaka was starting to think that that was the reason why he was sleeping in class, because he's just too shy to look at everybody. That makes a little bit of sense, but how am I supposed to confront him? I'm not saying I want to ask him out, but maybe just a little bit closer so we can talk more. Yuna was trying to think, knowing that if she was trying to get this girl to rush into a relationship with Shinso, he might find it suspicious, so she had to play her cards right. Well, maybe you should try bringing him lunch tomorrow. Ochako frowned a little bit, knowing that that's going to be a lot more difficult than she wants to admit. Well, I can't do that. My family is kind of poor and we're struggling sometimes to eat, so maybe I can do something else. Ina's heartstrings were nearly pulled apart from hearing such a sad thing, but she was determined to help. It's fine. Maybe I can take you shopping after school to help out. I make good money at the job that I do. Ochako tilted her head confused, wondering what teenage job could pay so well and why Mina needed a job in the first place. What kind of work do you do, and why do you want to help me so much? From what I was getting, I thought that he was in some kind of relationship with both you and Izuku. Mina was a little bit ticked off, even though Shinso was her friend, but she did not like the idea of sharing her true love. He's just a friend to the both of us, and as for what I do for work, I might be able to get you in on it, but I'll have to tell you after school. Ochako was even more confused, but was willing to take the chance to make some good money to help out her family, while a little bit jumping for joy knowing that the guy that she loves is not taken. Alright, well, I think we should start heading out to the field. I think I see the other girls leaving. Yuna turned around to see that the others were actually leaving, knowing that if they were late, they'll probably be used as an examples for today's exercise. Yeah, you're right, let's get going. We cut to the outside where the track field is as Eraserhead was explaining about the Quirk apprehension test. As everybody was going through their trials, we finally end ourselves off at the ball toss. Eraserhead thought that he would play a nice little trick on some of the newer students as he tossed a ball towards Shinso, who caught it without even looking. Shinso was confused why Eraserhead just tossed the ball at him. "Sensei, what do you want me to do with this?" Eraserhead just smirked at him. "I want you to go first in the ball toss and get in the circle so you can send the ball flying as far as possible." Shinso nodded his head as he got into the circle, wondering if he should just throw the ball regularly or try using the finger pistol but the blunt version, or try to see if the ball could ride on one of his tempest kicks. It was all just confusing to him. "What are the limits here, Sensei, so I don't be called a cheater in the end?" Eraserhead nodded his head, happy to see that one of his star students remembered his most important rule: always ask questions even if they sound stupid. "You're allowed to do whatever you need to as long as you stay within the circle." Shinso nodded his head as he decided to go with a tempest kick as he threw the ball into the air and waiting for the right second as he spun his leg like a gig, hitting the ball and sending it flying. Tempest kick, swallow bird. The ball was sent flying almost to the point of out of sight as the entire class was actually surprised seeing the kinetic energy that was released in the shape of a bird as the ball was in its mouth. As it finally drops down, Eraserhead shows how far it went as majority were shocked, all except for Izuku and Mina, who were clapping their hands for him. Izuku ran up and just hugged Shinso tight. "I can't believe that you got 805.2 meters. Shinso, who was blushing, was trying to hold back a nosebleed as he gently separated from her. "To be honest, I'm surprised myself." But that's where I'm gonna leave it off this time, guys. I hope that you enjoyed this double upload for this month, so don't say that I don't ever do you guys any special favors. And don't forget to look forward to March. There will be a lot of videos if everything goes well. But with all that said, guys, I'm out this time. Peace!